So in my last discussion, I made a list of what I thought were the top 5 international news events since the end of World War II. On that list, I put the 2008 financial crisis. I put in developments in China from the communist takeover to the economic resurgence of the past 20, 30 years. Little cheating there. I put in developments in Iran. I also cheating there from the coup in 1953, as I was corrected, to the revolution in 1979. Then I put Egypt, which was the whole point of the list, but I should have expanded that to the current popular uprisings in the Arab world, including Tunisia, Egypt, and now maybe others. And finally, number one was the end of the Cold War. Here I want to talk about some of the news items that didn't make the list. Let's start with apartheid. Apartheid, or the end of apartheid in South Africa, was a monumental achievement for human freedom. A huge event in human history, I believe, but unfortunately, I think it was really just centered on South Africa. It didn't cause any dominoes to fall all over the world where oppressed people were suddenly liberated, even though millions and millions of people were freed from a horrific oppression in South Africa. It didn't have an impact like some of the other events, so I didn't put it on the list. But it could be number 6. I got no problem with the end of apartheid. Another item that everybody was asking about was the creation of the State of Israel. I tried to stay away from this. It's also a huge event, but people who want to put it on the list fall into two categories. The Israel lovers, but they're mistaken that this is a huge event for the Jews and in Jewish history. But the creation of Israel, what did it matter to the dude in Indonesia or the dude in Brazil or some random Russian guy? It didn't matter at all. Then there's the Israel haters who want to put it on the list because they think that from the birth of Israel, we created all this tension in the Middle East. I don't buy that either. That's a blame Israel thing. Sure, when Israel was created, there were some problems, legitimate grievances that maybe the Palestinian people who lived in that land had. But the Israelis, Jews, and Palestinians could have worked it out peacefully. There's no good reason why the Arab countries, Syria, Egypt, Iraq, which was all the way over there, Saudi Arabia, etc., had to hate Israel. All that was manufactured. I don't blame Israel for that. And that's why I don't put the creation of the State of Israel in the top 5. But again, it's definitely in the top 10, just not the top 5. 9/11, that's a joke, right? There's no way 9/11. 9/11 is a little pimple in history. If you put that in the top 5, you're just falling for Bush-era propaganda of how that's such a major transformative event. No, I don't put 9/11 on there. Other American sideshows that are not worthy of the top 5 are the Vietnam War and the Korean War. Yeah, tens of thousands of Americans and millions of Vietnamese and Koreans were killed in those wars, and millions of lives were ruined. But that's the tragedy. Those were irrelevant, unimportant wars that probably never needed to be fought, and all those people died because of it. And they're not even that important. They're American sideshows, not on the list. The popularization, or the invention and popularization of computers, arguably could be number 1 on this entire list. But that's it's not so much a news event. It's more like a technological development, a trend. So I didn't put that on the list. India, I thought, somehow has to be on the list. India is the second most populated country in the world, and dramatic developments occurred in India. They're going to have far-reaching impact in the future. But today is not that day to put India on the list. Gandhi's nonviolent independence movement would definitely be on the list, except a lot of that occurred before World War II, even though it culminated with the independence of India after World War II. I like to put India on the list, but it just doesn't crack the top 5. Things like landing on the moon, these are big achievements in human history, but they don't really have wide impact, so I didn't put that on. And that's about it. So now you have not only my top 5 from the previous video, but all the explanation of why some important events didn't make the top 5. And thanks for watching.